Hey yo guys, what is good? It's Cameron, aka Cam. Cameron's my main channel, link in the description if you want to check it out. In the building, you know what I'm saying? AKA Bandana aka Bandana 2 times. You guys already know. SSH. Even if Fredo is wrong, we don't tell him he's right. We don't tell him he's wrong. But even if he's wrong, we're still gonna back him like he's right, okay? Highest IQ player I've ever seen in my life, guys. Guys, I'm just rambling, okay? Before we get into the video, guys, if you could smash that like and subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. As you guys can see up here, we're at 3.2 thousand watch hours, but we're only at 319 subs. 95% of you guys are not subscribed, so I'm gonna need you guys to go down and hit that like and subscribe button. Unfortunately, I cannot subscribe to Theflightmike because he got his ankles broke by Flight React, so I'm sorry, but I can't subscribe to you. But you guys can still subscribe to me, okay? Before we get into the video, guys, if you could check out bbolcases.com for NBA and 2K phone cases. As you guys can see, bro, look at these fire cases, bro. Look at Alex Caruso looking kind of cute on the case. Yo, look at my mans. We got AD, Ben Simmons, every single player, bro. Look at this dealer, ice in my veins. You already know what I'm saying. Got the Lonzo Ball, LaMelo cases, all that kind of stuff. We're going crazy, you know what I'm saying? Check out bbolcases.com. But, okay, the Denver Nuggets in these scrimmages had a very interesting lineup. They're running, I haven't seen it, okay? I actually haven't seen any of the gameplay, I just heard about it. They're running like Jokic at point guard, Bol Bol at small forward, 7'2" Bol Bol at small forward, and how tall is Jokic? Like 7'1" or something. They were running just a demigod lineup. They're literally the anti-Houstons. They're the anti-Rockets team, okay? They're literally doing the opposite of what the Rockets do. It's crazy. But instead of playing small ball, they're playing big ball. Let's check this video out. Oh my days, I didn't have this thing plugged in. Let me plug this in real quick. My apologies. While I'm plugging it in, if you guys could smash that like and subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, let's check it out.
And now he's playing point guard.
Hey. Bol Bol playing point guard? Get the out of here.
Get out. 9'7" wingspan. Here's a great example.
We turned on our televisions to finally watch basketball for the very first time, and
Imagine living in the US and being able to turn on your TV and watch basketball. Must be nice.
though some people didn't get the
Instead of having
opportunity
to
to
pay
watch this game,
$90.
I'm sure you may have seen this image on Twitter. The Denver Nuggets starting lineup. Starting at center, Mason Plumlee. That sounds about normal to me. Starting at forward, Paul Millsap. Okay, sounds normal to me still. Starting at the other forward, Bol Bol. Might be a little interesting having a 7'2" player at the other forward position. Starting at guard, Jeremy Grant, a player that typically does not play the guard position, and probably most interesting of all in this
Nikola Jokic at point guard.
You have Nikola Jokic, a player who is notorious for being a center, who also caught many headlines for the amount of weight he lost over the summer, who is probably known as one of the most phenomenal passing centers in NBA history. Now, I know that's a very bold claim, and I know there's been a lot of phenomenal passing centers throughout the span of NBA history, but I don't think any of those centers were mainly known for their abilities to make plays for their teammates more than Nikola Jokic. Usually that's a secondary or a tertiary attribute that a NBA center
he was so big. How do you lose that much weight?
But I think we could all agree, as
size.
As
he lost a ton of muscle as well, though.
Scoring the ball, his main bread and butter is creating plays for his teammates. The result of this is
he's not doing that on Alan Jarrett no more. That's his name, right? Alan Jarrett, the Brooklyn center that's a god rim protector. He's not strong enough to do that anymore.
You need to find a head coach who is up to the challenge to maximize the most of Nikola Jokic's talents. But when I saw this lineup, there's something that popped into my head that absolutely terrified me, and a lot of you guys have been asking me to make this video on the Denver Nuggets for quite some time, and after watching this, I had no choice but to finally sit down and make this video. Now, before we get to the video, guys, make sure you smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe if you want to, but also I'm doing multiple giveaways for NBA 2K21. I'm doing one on my Twitter, and I'm doing...
Guys, I'm doing an NBA 2K21 giveaway as well. Link to that in the
one on my
description.
Instagram
My
page.
main
I'll
channel.
leave
Just
the
go to my
link
main
to those in
channel.
the description
You'll find the
down
NBA
below.
2K21
Now that
giveaway
that's
video.
all
Just
out
follow
of
the
the
steps
way,
in the video.
cue the intro.
Okay, this intro's kind of heat. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god. Giannis onto the combo.
Now look, I understand that this could be an over-analysis. I understand that this could be an over-analyzation. A lot of you guys might think I'm way in over my head, but whenever I see experimentation...
Internet, wait, why are you doing this to me now, Internet? Internet, why? Why are you doing it to me now, Internet? Wait, are we recording? What does it say? Oh, never mind. Guys, what do you comment down below what you guys think of the starting five for the Denver Nuggets? Low key, it's like a 2K squad, okay? Like if I was making a 2K squad where I made all the players, that's low key how I'd make my squad. Just a team of absolute demigods. Just everyone above 7 foot. I don't know how tall the shooting guard is. I think Paul Millsap, what is he, like 6'11", 6'10"? I actually don't know what Paul Millsap's height is. But I know he's a solid power forward. Oh, my dad's internet. Guys, drink water. As Cash Nasty said, drink a gallon of water a day will change your life, apparently. He said it on Twitter, not me. And you guys love Cash Nasty. Who doesn't like Cash Nasty? So, yeah, bro. Internet. I'm just trying to make some reaction videos, please. Tay Telstra. What are we up to? 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Let me refresh, see if it'll work. See if it's just my internet, or if it's YouTube. Why does this happen to me? Look, I've got 5 bars. I have literally 5 bars of internet. Trash ass internet, bro. What the heck? Here's the thing, right, with this lineup. You have Jokic, your point guard. Literally, they have to play all 5 centers, okay? Because that's the thing. They have to play all big men. Otherwise, you're just going into the post every time. And then, actually, you could just collapse on it. And they're not really going to be able to shoot too well. Bol Bol's a good shooter. But they're not running too many shooters. If they can get their shooting down, it's GG, bro. Because you just have mismatches everywhere. Unless you force them to run 5 centers as well. 5 big men. And then if they're running 5 big men, they're not going to be as good as you are at running 5 big men. So then you're just going to win every single time. It's kind of unfair. Oh, this Wi-Fi. Guys, just skip ahead. Try to figure this out. Turn Wi-Fi off. Turn Wi-Fi on. Have you tried turning it on and off again? Oh, ready, guys? Look how godly I am at this game. No cap. Guys, I'm about to blow. Oh, it's loading. We got it. Let's go. Okay, back to the reaction. Back to the reaction of me sitting here and watching the video. Saying nothing. Just letting you guys to watch the video on my channel. Guys, imagine living in Australia with great Wi-Fi. How sick would that be? Oh, why is the Wi-Fi connecting again? Just connect. Fingers crossed this works right now. Please. 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 While we're waiting, guys, if you're still here, shout out to you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. There's no way anyone is still waiting. What the freak, man? What the heck, man? Why is this Wi-Fi so bad? I want to grab. Also, Lonzo Ball with a nice little 8 points, 8 assists. Was that what he got? Was that what he had yesterday?
So you could become privy and
let's go.
aware of what a team is attempting to do.
I'm not watching this in 144p. Surely we can get at least 480, please. Fingers crossed.
Because it needs to be
Let's go.
recognized. After the Golden State
Let's go.
Warriors successfully broke the NBA and created a dynasty that many teams tried to replicate but absolutely failed because they didn't have the personnel to do so, a lot of teams have been doing whatever it takes to somehow experiment and come up with their own little offensive system that is absolutely impossible to stop. Off the top of my head, you have the New Orleans Pelicans trading for DeMarcus Cousins a few years ago to pair him with Anthony Davis to see what happens when you have two big men that are adept at shooting the three, fairly adept at shooting the three, adept at creating plays for one another and handling the ball. What happens when you put
What happened? Did they got injuries, right?
Like Drew Holiday? Would it result in playoff appearances? Well, we didn't really get to see the potential of that pair.
They were all injured.
And even this past year, we didn't really get to see the potential of the DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis pair, primarily due to the same reason why we didn't get to see the potential of the pairing the first time. And that's because DeMarcus Cousins got injured, both this year and when he was with the Pelicans. And after, when he recovered from his injury with the Pelicans, he signed with the Golden State Warriors. But more recently, you have the Houston Rockets going all in on the small ball philosophy, a philosophy that sees them have nobody except maybe one center on their roster in Tyson Chandler, and I'm sure I'm forgetting another player that they potentially have as a center just in case if their small ball lineup doesn't work. But they traded a player that at the beginning of the season, nobody would ever think that they would, first of all, depreciate this player's value so much and then trade him for a player like Robert Covington. And I'm discussing Clint Capella over here. They traded away Clint Capella and they opted to go with Rocco at the center position. And for the most part, we've seen some mixed results from the Houston Rockets as a result of that. And in the beginning, the Houston Rockets looked phenomenal. At the very, very beginning, they were giving teams like the Los Angeles Lakers problems as well. They won 10 out of 12 games and were first in win percentage, which was tied with the Milwaukee Bucks, third in offensive rating, and fourth in point differential ever since making that switch. Now, there's some more interesting things going on behind the scenes for the Houston Rockets. I don't know if you guys know, but the Daryl Morey tweet about China in the beginning has made things very, very complicated.
Guys, I was talking to someone from China, right, when I was playing basketball. Apparently in China, this is mind-blowing. The Houston Rockets, you can't watch the Houston Rockets games, and anytime, like, if a new reporter or something writes Houston Rockets, it gets blocked and censored. So they refer to the Houston Rockets as the Houston Murder.
With the new Rockets owner Tillman Fertitta.
So that's still right about the Houston Rockets, but they refer to them as the Houston Murder.
There's also rumblings about potentially not bringing Mike D'Antoni back, so maybe they're trying to see what the potential of Mike D'Antoni's offense is when they finally go all in on it, as opposed to having a hybrid where they still have a center in addition to having multiple small ball players on the court. This time, I'm seeing something that absolutely fascinated me. A lineup of players that should probably be playing the center or power forward position, and it works because, well, Nikola Jokic is a very good playmaker. You don't see Jamal Murray here anywhere, and he's probably going to be coming off of the bench. And the thing that stuck out to me the most here is the fact that Bol Bol is in, a player that typically wasn't getting a lot of attention and a player that they could be playing more, but they're really not. Now, I don't know if you guys have been noticing the way the Denver Nuggets draft strategy has been recently, but they have been phenomenal at having top-tier talent on the squad while also drafting and stashing injured players that are supposed to be tremendously high upside. And the first player that comes to my mind when I discuss this is none other than Michael Porter Jr. At the conclusion of the 2017 season, Michael Porter is a demigod as well. Overall prospect on Rivals and the second best prospect on Scout and ESPN's recruiting rankings. He eventually would commit to Missouri and, well, he wouldn't really play very much, unfortunately, due to the fact that he was dealing with a back injury. As a result, Michael Porter Jr. saw his draft stock completely deteriorate from a player that was potentially going to be in the top 3 and was virtually viewed as a lock to be drafted in the top 3, going all the way to the 14th overall pick. And judging based off of previous 14th overall picks, you could either really hit big or completely miss. Bam Adebayo was a 14th overall pick, but he was a little bit of a project. But you also have players like Shabazz Muhammad and Cameron Payne that were drafted 14th overall. So needless to say, this is the place where you take a risk on such a player. So, of course, the Denver Nuggets drafted and stashed him.
Bro, if you swap out Michael Porter at shooting guard,
And I think they're overly aggressive in terms of his recovery and rehabilitation because, well, they could afford to do so. They have a phenomenal starting five that is good enough to be a top 3 seed in the Western Conference, which is the most competitive conference in the NBA. And meanwhile, you have a player who was compared to Kevin Durant coming out of high school, which, by the way, just because he was compared to Kevin Durant doesn't mean he's going to become Kevin Durant, being stashed away, playing something like 14 minutes per game, slowly and gently being eased into the pace of the NBA. Michael Porter Jr. is currently 22
Michael Porter Jr. is also a mismatch. He big, he's strong,
years old.
he's
Just
fast,
turned 22 years old.
he athletic.
Bol Bol is 20 years
He can
old.
shoot.
And if there's a player that I can compare Bol Bol to, and again, this is the best case scenario, you cannot ever definitively point at a player and say, this is his ceiling and he's destined to hit it. There's been a lot of times where players are supposed to be a specific player and they didn't end up becoming a specific player. For example,
Like
Greg
that.
Oden was supposed to be the next coming of Shaq, and unfortunately injuries hampered his career. There's other instances like Deshaun Stevenson, according to NBA Draft.net, was supposed to be the next coming of Michael Jordan, and that never materialized. And, you know, NBA Draft.net's very ashamed of that comparison. But Bol Bol, in my opinion, has the potential to become the next Giannis Antetokounmpo. And what I mean by that is, so far he hasn't played this year. He's extremely raw, but he has incredible tools. He's 7'2". He has a 7'8" wingspan, which is insane, but he also has displayed the ability to run the court with the ball in his hands and still do things like this, where he's pulling up from 3. Now look, I wanted to make something abundantly clear. Once again, the Denver Nuggets have demonstrated a phenomenal knack for acquiring high-end, top-tier talent whose stock is falling down. If anyone is invested in the stock market, any quote-unquote entrepreneur or financial analyst guru that you may see on TikTok will probably tell you, buy low and sell high. And both Bol Bol and Michael Porter Jr., players that are supposed to be top 5 picks at some point, literally have been sidelined due to injuries, and the Denver Nuggets were able to swoop them up for cheap. Bol Bol was drafted with the 44th overall pick. Now, listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. He does have the tools, and I do think he has the work ethic, and it looks like he also has a coach that is really ready to completely abuse him once he is ready. He is only 20 years old. And it doesn't seem like he's your traditional back to the basket type of player. Bol Bol likes to drive. Bol Bol likes to shoot, which is why I made the comparisons to Giannis. Now, I don't know if he's going to be as athletic as Giannis. I don't even know if he's going to be able to fill out his frame like Giannis.
He almost yammed that.
Any player could add 55 pounds of muscle and become the MVP of the league, possibly the 2-time MVP of the league, is a huge reach, but I do think that's his potential.
Giannis looks so different now to how he used to.
You guys would know that whenever you're doing a My League, a good way to cheat the system is to trade for Bol Bol because he eventually becomes like a 90 overall player. And I think in 5 years from now, just like Giannis Antetokounmpo's development went from 6 points per game with 24 minutes played to 12 points per game with 31 minutes played to 17 points per game with 35 minutes played to 22 points per game with the same amount of time played to 26 minutes per game, 27 minutes per game, and this year 30 minutes per game despite playing 5 minutes less. I feel like Bol Bol could have the same trajectory.
That's
but I think there's
insane.
only one thing truly standing in Bol Bol's way. You see, in the NBA, the way it works is you have one player that you ideally want to play through, one player that could penetrate and create for his teammates, unless if you put those players in a system. You take the Bucks, for example. They have Giannis Antetokounmpo. They surround Giannis Antetokounmpo with good scorers and good shooters. Giannis Antetokounmpo penetrates and either is able to get something in the paint or kick it out to somebody outside for the easy basket. LeBron James made the 4-out, 1-in style very popular. The very basic drive and dish concept extremely popular. And I think that's the one thing that could potentially hold Bol Bol back from becoming a 25 points per game type scorer or even a 20 points per game type scorer. On top of that, the Denver Nuggets have way too much talent, and I can't see a successful team and good team chemistry being created if one player is mainly doing all the scoring. So it's up to Mike Malone to really find a system that puts Nikola Jokic in the proper place to create plays, Jamal Murray in a position to score, Bol Bol in a position to penetrate, Michael Porter Jr. in another position to penetrate, and Paul Millsap in a position where he could grab rebounds and potentially score and be a little bit more of a role player as he ages and his career begins to fade away. Nonetheless, don't sleep on the Denver Nuggets, because I think in about a year or two,
they have an
as
interesting
this team
team right now.
develops, this team is going to easily become
forgot,
one
and they
of
have
the best teams
Michael
in the
Porter
entire
as well.
NBA. And if there's a team that I could compare them to right now, I would compare them to the 2017 Boston Celtics after they drafted Jason Tatum. They have youth and they have veteran leadership. And hopefully they don't have a player like Kyrie Irving coming in and messing that up, but I don't see Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray and Paul Millsap as those types of players, although Jamal Murray's fairly young as well. Let me know what you guys think about this. Did I reach anywhere? I know the Giannis and Antetokounmpo comparison's kind of nuts, but I think the fact that both of those players are extremely raw, they're going to take some time for seasoning to come in and become the best versions of themselves. I feel like their career trajectories are going to be very similar, but I could be wrong. I really hope as a Laker fan, I don't see Bol Bol fulfill his potential to that extent. A 7'2" player that could penetrate is going to be absolutely impossible to stop. And as a Laker fan, I don't want to see that. But obviously, I'd like to see every basketball player fulfill his potential. I'm your boy, Theflightmike.
Guys, that's the end of the video, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, comment down below how you guys think this Denver Nugget team is going to. As I said, bro, five mismatches on the court. What are you going to do? You're forced to run 5 big men. Most teams aren't even going to have 5 big men that can guard everyone. And then if you don't, they just have ISO the small guy. Like, they don't have a mismatch every single time. It's just OP. It's just, no other way to say it. It's just OP. Especially if everyone starts getting better at shooting on their team. That could be deadly. Guys, as I said, if you guys enjoyed the video, please smash that like and subscribe button, and I'm out. See ya.